History is often written in gold, recited by kings in the safety of stone halls. But the end of an age, that is written in gray ash and cold mud. Look up, higher than the clouds, higher than the flight of dragons. There stands Mount Hyjal, the spine of the world, and at its peak, Nordrassil, the world tree. It does not merely grow, it presides. Its roots drink deep from the second well of eternity, glowing with a soft teal luminescence that promises life everlasting. To the Night Elves, this is not just a tree, it is the anchor of their immortality, a sacred pillar holding the sky away from the earth. The air here is thin, sharp, and smells of pine and ancient magic. But cast your gaze down from that heavenly summit, down to the base of the mountain, into the dirt. Here the scene is not sacred, it is desperate. For the first time in 10,000 years, the soil of Hyjal is being broken not by roots but by spades. Trenches scar the pristine slopes. Barricades of rough-hewn timber are lashed together with urgency. And manning these pathetic walls is a sight that defies all logic, orcs and humans. Shoulder to shoulder, the survivors of Lordaeron, clad in battered plate, stand beside the sons of Draenor, gripping their axes with green-skinned hands. There are no insults thrown today, no skirmishes. There is only a heavy, suffocating silence, the kind of silence that predates a massacre. Lady Jaina, Proudmoore, and War Chief Thrall have done the impossible. They have suspended a blood feud to build a dam against the tide. But look closely at their eyes. There is no delusion of victory here. They are not building a fortress to keep the enemy out. They are building a labyrinth. The strategy is cold, mathematical, and terrifying. 3 camps, 3 layers of defense. A tactical ladder designed to collapse one rung at a time. The commanders know the truth that the soldiers in the trenches do not. They are not expected to survive. They are currency. They are being spent to buy time. The sky to the south begins to bruise. A sickly, fell green aurora bleeds into the twilight, choking the stars. The birds have long since fled. The wind dies. The gamble has begun. And the price of entry is everything. Let us look upon the architects of this grand suicide. At the very base of the mountain, where the tree line meets the scarred earth, stands the first anomaly. Lady Jaina Proudmoore. She is a figure of crystal and frost, standing amidst rough men in dented steel. She is the ghost of Lordaeron, carrying the guilt of a kingdom she could not save. Her role in this play is the most cruel. She is the bait. She stands behind the hastily dug trenches of the Alliance base. Her footmen invoke the light, but their hands tremble. They know what approaches. Jaina knows that her magical barriers are paper against the fire that comes. Yet she does not run. She anchors herself in the mud, her eyes fixed on the southern horizon. She must hold, not to win, but to bleed. She must convince the Legion that this is a true fortress, forcing them to commit their numbers here in the Valley of the Shadow. Climb higher, past the winding paths, into the mist. Here lies the second layer of the defense, the Horde. War Chief Thrall grips the Doom Hammer, the weapon's weight a comforting burden. His people, the Orcs, are not strangers to the Legion. They were once its slaves. Today, they are its executioners. There is a primal, rhythmic drumming here, the beating of heavy hearts. Thrall understands the geometry of this battlefield better than anyone. He knows that Jaina's line will break. He knows the humans will retreat up the slopes, broken and terrified. And it will be his duty to catch them, to open his gates, let the refugees through, and then slam the iron shut against the demons on their heels. He is the anvil. And at the summit, watching it all, with eyes as old as the stars, are the Night Elves. Tyrande Whisperwind. She is not a general of armies. She is the avatar of the goddess. Her patience has worn thin. For 10,000 years, her people have vigilantly guarded this peak. And now she must watch as outlanders, humans with their short lives and orcs with their tainted blood, trample the sacred soil. It sickens her, but she is a pragmatist. She looks to the very peak, where Malfurion Stormrage sits in a trance. Malfurion is the true anomaly. He is not fighting. He is not shouting orders. He is weaving. While the armies below sharpen their steel, the Archdruid is communing with the spirits of the forest, whispering to the roots, preparing a weapon that has no blade. But what are they facing? It is not an army. It is a calamity given form. Archimonde the Defiler. He does not march. He looms. He is a monolith of blue skin and feel energy, towering over the treetops. He does not view Jaina or Thrall as threats. He views them as debris, anomalies to be swept aside. His arrogance is absolute. He walks with the slow, terrifying confidence of a being who has unmade worlds. He does not see the trap. He sees only the world tree, pulsing with the power of well. He desires it with a hunger that transcends gluttony. He wants to drain the heart of Azeroth dry. The stage is set. The pieces are placed. The mortal races are merely speed bumps on the road to godhood. The commanders know the truth. They are trading lives for sand in an hourglass. Every soldier who dies at the base buys Malfurion one more second at the summit. The first green meteor tears through the clouds. The silence breaks. The sky does not darken. It ignites. It begins with a sound that is felt in the teeth before it is heard. A tearing of the atmospheric fabric. The clouds above the human encampment boil away, replaced by a churning vortex of fell green. And then, the rain begins. But this is not water. Massive meteors of green fire, infernals, streak down from the heavens, screaming as they burn through the atmosphere. They do not land. They impact. The earth shudders as they crash into the human lines, the craters instantly turning into birth pits. The rocks unfold. Jagged limbs of stone and fell fire rise from the craters. The siege has not marched to the gates. It has fallen from the stars directly into the courtyard. At the base of the mountain, the defense-in-depth strategy faces its first horrific test. The human footmen, the Knights of Lordaeron, raise their shields. It is a gesture of tragic futility. The wave of ghouls and fellhounds hits them like a landslide of rotting meat and teeth. Jaina Proudmoore stands amidst the chaos. Her staff flares, brilliant arcane brilliance cutting through the gloom. She summons blizzards to freeze the marrow of the demons, turning the battlefield into a slush of ice and black blood. But for every demon she shatters, 3 more claw over the breakage. She looks at her lieutenants. The signal is given. It is the hardest order a commander can give. Retreat. This is the essence of the gamble. They are selling the land. They are paying for time with the pride of the Alliance. The human lines collapse, not in a rout, but in a desperate fighting withdrawal. Men die in the mud to buy their brothers 10 seconds to run. The sound of the teleportation spell weaves through the screams, a shimmer of violet light whisking the survivors away, leaving the base empty, save for the corpses and the triumphant roar of the Legion. The first layer is gone. The Legion surges forward, climbing the winding path confident in their momentum. But as they round the bend into the jagged crags of the mid-mountain, the texture of the resistance changes. The air here does not smell of ozone and magic. It smells of rust, sweat, and musk. The Horde is waiting. The transition is violent. Where the humans fought with discipline and formation, the orcs fight with savage, rhythmic brutality. The Legion vanguard runs headlong into a wall of muscle and iron. Grunts, their eyes burning with the memory of their own enslavement, hack into the Fell Guards with a fury that stuns even the demons. Thrall stands at the center of the storm. He does not use the arcane. He calls upon the elements of Azeroth itself. Lightning chains from his hammer, arcing through the demonic ranks. The earth heaves under the demons' feet, swallowing them whole. The trolls hurl spears that whistle like death birds. The torrents smash through the ranks like living battering rams. For a moment, just a brief shining moment, it seems they might hold. The sheer ferocity of the orcs stalls the infinite march. But then, the shadow falls. Archimonde approaches. He walks through the battlefield not as a warrior, but as a god strolling through a garden he intends to burn. He ignores the axes hacking at his shins. He raises a hand, and the ground turns to gray sand. The orcish barricades, built of sturdy oak and iron, simply disintegrate. They crumble into dust, blowing away in the fell wind. It is a psychological break. The orcs are not being outfought. They are being unmade. Thrall sees it. The math of the battlefield shifts again. The second layer has been spent. The time bought is running out. With a roar that mixes defiance with grief, the warchief sounds the horn. Fall back. The retreat this time is messier. The Horde does not teleport, they run. They scramble up the rocky slopes, the fellhounds snapping at their heels. The rear guard is left behind. Brave warriors who turn to face the tide one last time, disappearing under a swarm of green and black. Now only the summit remains. The air at the peak is thin. The Night Elves stand in the shadow of the World Tree. The Sentinels, with their moonglaves, are statues of cold fury. The ancient protectors, massive living trees, root themselves into the path, grabbing boulders in their wooden fists. The Legion breaches the final rise. The clash is silent at first, the silence of two ancient powers meeting. Nature against entropy. The ancients swing their limbs, crushing demons into paste. The priestesses of the moon call down silver beams of starlight that sear the fell flesh. But the Legion is endless. The sheer volume of bodies begins to pile up against the Night Elf lines, a ramp made of corpses. In the center of the grove, away from the screaming and the dying, Malfurion Stormrage stands before the immense trunk of Nordrassil. He is sweating. His eyes are rolled back, white and blind. He is not watching the battle. He is listening to the forest. He is weaving the final threads of a spell that requires the sacrifice of the very thing they are fighting to save. He hears the screams of Jaina's footmen dying at the base. He feels the vibrations of the orcs falling in the middle. He senses the sentinels breaking at the gate. Every death has been a syllable in the incantation he is preparing. The gamble is reaching its conclusion. The Legion is not conquering Hyjal. They are being led into the slaughterhouse. Archimonde steps over the shattered remains of the final gate. He sees the World Tree. He ignores the Night Elves. He ignores the insignificant mortals scattering into the woods. He walks toward the tree, his eyes burning with greed, his laughter shaking the leaves from the branches. He thinks he has won. He does not hear the millions of tiny wings beginning to stir in the canopy above him. The Defiler reaches out. His hand, massive and trembling with anticipation, makes contact with the rough bark of Nordrassil. He expects a surge of power. He expects to become a god. Instead, he hears a horn. It is deep, mournful, and ancient. Malfurion Stormrage has played his final card. From the canopy, from the roots, from the very air itself, they appear. The wisps, they are not warriors. They are the spirits of the forest, the ghosts of ancestors, the breath of the world. Thousands of them, millions. A swirling vortex of soft blue light descending upon the demon lord. Archimonde pauses. Confusion flickers across his face for the first time. They do not bite. They do not cut. They crowd him. They bind him. They are the immune system of Azeroth, converging to purge a virus. The air pressure drops. The humming of the World Tree rises to a scream. Then, silence. And then, white. The explosion does not sound like a bomb. It sounds like a world breaking apart. The primal energy of the World Tree, detonated in a single instant, tears through the Defiler. His flesh is stripped away, layer by layer, until only the skeleton of his hubris remains, clinging to the burning trunk for a fleeting second before it too dissolves into ash. The shockwave flattens the forest. It knocks the humans and orcs to their knees miles away. It clears the sky of the fell clouds, revealing the stars once more. When the dust settles, Nordrassil still stands, but it is scorched, cracked. The glow is dim. The victory is absolute, but the cost is total. The Night Elves look at their hands. They do not feel it yet, but the change has happened. The enchantment is broken. They will age, they will sicken. They will die. They have traded their immortality for the survival of this world. Jaina, Thrall, and Tyrande stand amidst the ruin. There is no cheering, only the heavy, exhausted breathing of survivors. They look at one another, not as enemies, but as veterans of the apocalypse. The Burning Legion has been broken. The long vigil is over. But as the sun rises over the wounded peak of Hyjal, it casts long, uncertain shadows. The age of gods has ended. The age of mortals has begun. And in this new era, there are no prophecies to guide us. We are alone in the dark, and we must find our own way home.